Hey everybody, Mitch Blackfoot Anthony, and we're in the heart of Myrtle Beach, right here at 501 at the Asher Theater. James Stevens, the man of 1,000 voices, and his wife have put together this theater that brings you so much entertainment. We got plays, we got bands, we got other shows, entertainment all around. James, the man of 1,000 voices, come check him out. You'll be really, really glad you did. Well, we're gonna talk to James today, and he's gonna give us the scoop on all of this. This is Mitch Blackfoot Anthony, and this is Signature Licks. Yeah, everybody, we're back and we're inside the Asher Theater with the one and only James Stevens, man of 1,000 voices.
Oh man, man, I can't believe I'm Chris Rock this day. nah, man, we do a lot of voices here. People try not to give them 1,000 a show. I give them about 20.
Yeah, that would take a while.
That's right.
Make one show would last a week.
Come back, man. They always come back. You know what I'm saying? Well, there you go again. Well, I can't rap. Someone asked me one time, they said, Mr. President, did you ever fly an airplane? And I said, yes, and then movie Lassie Comes Home.
Oh, yeah, that's funny, man. Not only does James do voices, he's a talent with instruments. He's all over the place. He's got videos, DVDs, and this foundation. Tell us about this foundation.
Well, this is James Stevens III Scholarship Foundation. The reason why I'm back in South Carolina in the first place, because the fact that I was born in South Carolina, I was adopted. So since I've come back, I started a foundation 25, 30 years. I've been helping kids in the state of South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, sometime DC. And we've raised over $500,000 in laptop computers and financial aid for kids. That's what my folks did for me.
Nice. I hear you, man. I love kids. I can't wait till this show gets big enough to where I can contribute more to something like that.
Oh man, it's growing all the time, man.
Yeah,
we're gonna make this work.
Yeah. Well, tell us, how did James Stevens create James Stevens? How old were you when you first started doing this?
Well, doing comedy. I mean, when I was growing up as a kid, I mimicked a lot of people, so I could do the impressions and stuff like that. But not until I got older, started playing piano. I played piano as a musician and all that. And then in Seattle, they had, when I was in college, they had the stand-up comedy competition.
Okay.
And, I did impressions and stuff like that. So I thought maybe I can do this. And so this was really weird. Like, it was 100 comedians from around the country. And they performed for 2 weeks. And then the finalists go and play at the famous Paramount Theater in Seattle.
Nice.
And first year, I made it to the finals.
Nice.
So out of 100 comedians, the top 5 go to the finals. I came in 5th, but I was really proud because the first time I ever done it. So
yeah.
Cool.
Oh yeah. If you put a little work behind it, boom.
Yeah. So I went from 5, 4, I went to 3. And I thought I should have won at 3. and I got upset, so I said, you know what, I'm just going to move straight to LA.
Right.
And I left to move down to Los Angeles, and the rest is history. Within 4 years, I signed a deal with Columbia Pictures, and I started a television show with Jennifer Aniston, Dana Carvey Show, Steve Carell, Will Ferrell. I worked with all those guys.
Well, that's not a bad time frame. That's pretty quick, 4 years.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I'd been working, but it was in the 90s when it all started to click for me. Yeah.
Now, there's stories. I have some friends that have like a daughter or a son that went out there, and one of my friends, his daughter wanted to go out there and do that, and he supported her, and she said, "Okay, I'll drive you out there and fly back." And he was against it, but he loves her. He wants her to try it, you know. So he drives her out there. And lo and behold, 4 days later, she calls him back, Daddy, I got a part on the West Wing.
Oh, that's amazing, yeah.
4 days.
4 days.
You know, so this business is very unpredictable and predictable at the same time, you know, if that makes any sense to anyone. But that's what Signature Licks is all about. We're trying to let the audience, let you guys know the things that musicians, actors, comedians, entertainers in general go through. And, you know, just try to humanize us a little bit, because the audience usually just sees us like this and we see them like this.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, they see the glamour shots. I mean, they don't really see, a lot of times people don't see the struggle.
Right.
And the struggle is like, I mean, you get to LA and, you know, I'm a comedian.
Right.
So, and this is, you know, you're going from really being an amateur to the professional world.
Right.
And these people don't play.
Kind of like me right now.
they really don't play. Like, you go to the world's famous comedy store and there's a line at 5 o'clock standing around to be on to get 3 minutes.
Right.
Okay, you go to the Improv, same thing.
Wow.
And I mean, the Laugh Factory, same thing. These are the 3 of the top comedy clubs in the world.
Yes.
But for us amateurs just moving there, we thinking, oh, dude, it's just like being in Seattle. But it's not like that. And Bud Friedman, rest in peace, he died recently.
Yeah.
Bud Friedman was like this. I remember meeting him at the Improv, and I say, Mr. Friedman, I'm a comedian. And he still wears this little barnacle, and he goes, good for you. And he walked away.
Yeah.
Okay? And then Missy Shore would do the same thing. She talks like this. I'm sorry, come back next year. I mean, that's the kind of thing would happen, and it really humble you.
Yeah.
It humble you.
Yeah.
So years and years later, and you have to prove yourself.
Yeah.
And then there's some people like Eddie Griffin who came down, you know, parking cars. He worked in the parking cars, stuff like that. Didn't have an act. He was just doing the Richard Pryor stuff.
Right. Okay.
And then Dice Clay liked him a lot. Dice Clay blew up.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Dice Clay sold out the Forum and the Madison Square Garden within like 10 minutes.
Mm.
So Missy wanted her to take him to take me to be the opening act. So once if he takes you now, you're a star because you're going to be performing in front of like millions of people.
Exactly.
He took Eddie Griffin.
Ah.
And Eddie Griffin went poof.
Oh yeah.
And blew up.
Yeah.
But that's the same thing. Like, you got enough followers, now it's about followers.
Right.
You got enough followers, but once you get that exposure, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. That's.
but I feel absolutely blessed, you know, to have the opportunity. And you can look around, you see some of these pictures.
Oh, absolutely. We're going to talk about this.
Yes, Jennifer Aniston, Oprah right there, Maya Angelou. You got to understand that, you know, I'll tell you what Lauren Michaels told me.
Oh, okay.
Saturday Night Live.
Saturday Night Live, yeah.
So they had already, you know, I had 2 shows pursuing me. There was Saturday Night Live, and there was a show called The Stephanie Miller Show.
Okay.
And she was, she's still on the radio, but they took her from radio to her own late night show. Now that's when, you know, Roseanne, or all these guys, you remember they were doing all these shows, Arsenio.
Yeah, right.
So they were like, okay, I want you to, Saturday Night Live, they were courting me. NBC courting me. The people on the other show was courting me. NBC wanted me to do SNL because SNL was tanking. It was terrible.
Yeah, I remember that point.
And so that was a class with Will Ferrell, Sherry O'Terry, Chris Kattan, all of us guys, you know, from the Groundlings. I was in LA. We went out and we did the show. Right. And I turned down Saturday Night Live.
Mm.
Because I was thinking that this show was going to be better than Saturday Night Live. They promised me everything, that I would play all kinds of characters and all that.
Right.
But they came back and, you know, kicked me in the butt.
Yeah, we make a lot of bad decisions, but all of them are going forward. I mean, you're moving forward, and you make a hiccup here and there, but the point is that you're moving forward. You're not giving up on yourself. Now, when we come back, we're going to talk to James about some of the people that he's met over his career. I mean, I'm looking all around his theater here. I mean, you know, it's got everything. It seems like he knows everybody, period. So when we come back, and later on in some of the clips, you'll see some of the theater, and we'll talk about some of these stars that he's acquainted with. This is Signature Licks. We'll be right back.
Here at Perfect Pitch, our mission is to perfectly pitch your brand by cultivating well-crafted stories to bring your products and services into focus. In a collaborative team effort, we strategically slide into your business to gain full insight of who you are, what you do, and where you want to be. Through our unique process of analyzing the market and your competitors, we cover all the bases to make you more visible and elevate your business to that next level. We establish the value of your brand by creatively producing a clear, concise, and relatable message that will be sure to hit home with your customers while striking out the competition.
Hey everybody, we're back at the Asher Theater with James Stevens, and we're going to talk about some of these stars that you've met. What's going on, man?
Man, gosh, I've been so blessed. You know, if you look back on the wall, you'll see a journey. I call it a journey because, I mean, when I was a kid, when you were talking about being a kid, but when I was a kid, they used to have the Columbia records. Remember that Columbia records?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And so my folks would get all these albums. And all the albums will have Aretha Franklin on it, Bill Cosby on it, all these singers and stuff like that. And what happened was, the amazing thing is, I always like, man, I was like, God, I want to meet these people. And I got to meet most of those people and more.
Yeah.
And everything it's been like, it's a story with all of them. So, I mean, if you look around, you want to ask me about it, I say Oprah, you know, I mean, I always wanted to meet her. I was like, because she was like the biggest thing in the world.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And in Hollywood, everybody wanted to be on Oprah.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, I was like, God, I'm gonna meet her. I don't know what's up with her, but it was toward the end of the Oprah show that I really got to meet her, and it was weird because I met her because I was performing at a couple of places. I was in D.C. and I was at another place in Chicago, and there was a guy named Bob Brown. Bob Brown, you probably don't know. If I tell you who he was, then you'll probably be like, oh, well, he was assistant to Richard Nixon. He was assistant to Richard Nixon. He's in North Carolina. He lived from North Carolina. Mm-hmm. You know, black Republican, one of the hugest black Republicans in the state. Because he never moved to D.C., he stayed, even though he was assistant. Sure. He has kept his roots in North Carolina. Okay. But he and Stedman Graham, you see a picture of Stedman up there, he and Stedman are like tight, all right? He introduced Stedman to Oprah, all right? Okay. So he saw me, I performed for Stedman in Chicago. He saw me in Chicago. This guy is sort of like, he's like the Godfather. Like, he wrote me a letter, and I'm like, how did he get my address?
Right.
And he says, I want to meet you personally. He wrote me a letter, and I was like, who is this guy? He invited me to his home. I went to his home. We're sitting at his house. He says, listen, I want to introduce you to Oprah because I think you're one of the greatest performers I had ever seen. That's what he said to me.
Yeah, that's nice, man.
And he says, I want the world to know who you are. You know, he's not the first person that said that. Dick Clark said that to me.
This guy's got pull.
But he does have some pull. So he says, he said, right now, get in the car with me. I'm going to take you to meet someone. So I got in the car with him.
Did you think he was going to whack you?
No. You know, I mean, he's credentialed. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He was. You know,
that just makes it legal.
You can Google him and you'll see that he was legit. Yeah. I didn't know who he was until I Googled him.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden I'm like, whoa. You know what I mean? Yeah. He drove me over to Maya Angelou's house.
Wow.
Maya Angelou opened the door, invited me in. We sat around her table and talked for hours.
Nice. That's beautiful.
And that's where our relationship started. And so from that, I performed at Maya's 80th birthday and her 85th birthday.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So
and see, that's a prime example of who you know.
Yeah.
Who you know. But you gotta be in the right spot at the right time, and you're not gonna do that by sitting on the couch. You gotta get out there and do it. you know, and then you start meeting these folks.
Just
like I met him.
Yeah, well, it's the same thing, yeah. That was pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I can't wait to play the theater again.
Okay. And you guys are going to play to get there.
That's right.
December the 11th, you're going to be back.
Exactly.
And you're going to be playing with Gary Lauder and the Smoking Hot Band. But Mitch has his own thing, so I love what you do.
We got this, me and my partner Jay.
Yeah.
You know, I do a little radio and stuff like that. I'm trying to get out there.
And that's what it's about.
Yeah, that's absolutely. So, you're a comedian. You want to leave us before commercial with a joke?
Well, see, you know, people. Jay always asks me about this joke he likes.
Okay.
Because when I moved back here, you know, to South Carolina, I moved here, and I have my grandmother still lives in Conway. She's 93 years old. Okay. And so I forgot. You know, I'm Catholic now, so I forgot some of the jargon. Like I forgot that a garden utensil was called a hoe.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So I called my grandmother out, and this is a true story. I called. I said, "Grandmother, what you doing?" She said, "Baby, I'm outside hoeing." And I said, "Grandmother, you hoeing?" She said, "Yes, I am." I said, "Grandma, you hoeing by yourself?" "No, me and a couple of girls from church, we're hoeing together." I said, "Grandma, there's no way you hoeing." I said, "How long you been hoeing?" She said, 35 years. I said, 35 years? You ever get tired of hoeing? She said, "Sometimes my knees be bothering me." I said, "Grandmother, there's no way you hoeing." She said, "Well, your mother was the biggest hoe in South Carolina."
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That's awesome. Oh, my goodness. Well, this is Signature Licks. And when we come back, we're going to see James on the stage doing some of his things, show you the theater that he has here. Beautiful theater, James. Beautiful.
Thanks.
James is all over the place. He does a lot of things for the community. He's definitely becoming a pillar of Myrtle Beach. So this is Signature Licks, and we'll be right back.
Welcome to the Production Warehouse. The Production Warehouse is a premier live-stream soundstage studio conveniently located in the heart of Myrtle Beach. We stage, film, and broadcast multiple types of shows, anything from a live concert performance to local and regional TV-style talk and news shows. We also write, produce, and create promotional ad spots for web, TV, and radio. The Production Warehouse is a service company that facilitates the marketing needs of local business and entertainment industry professionals. Our dedicated staff takes pride in every aspect of your media project. We utilize area professionals and resources necessary to ensure that we render the best service possible. For all of your production needs, please contact us at 843-267-3818.
Night time, baby, the right time to be with the one you love, baby. And that was 1986. I was at the World's Fair with Ray Charles. It was really incredible. That was basically Ray Charles, opening for Ray Charles was the gateway to my showbiz career, because in 1986, I was living in Seattle, Washington, and I got asked to come up to the World's Fair and open for Ray Charles. Johnny Cash, they had some young girls at my show today. I said, Man in Black, they go, "Oh my God, Will Smith." A lot of times when I do Johnny Cash, people they don't think I'm doing it. So here's for all the people down there in Chicago, Johnny Cash. Read my lips. Well, my daddy left home when I was 3, and he must have known me. This old guitar, the empty bottle blue.
You once, twice, 3 times, lady. I'm just so astonished to be here. I'm having fun. Yes, God is good, huh? What you say? God is good, isn't he? This is a Christian theater. We didn't even serve beer or wine in here until the Christians came. There were 200 Christians in here and they were complaining like, you don't serve wine. I said, Jesus drank wine. I said, thank God he didn't smoke crack. I'm not gonna serve you crack in here. Yo, what's up? It's James Stevens III. Listen, I do a lot of really cool things around the community. Matter of fact, my foundation has given over $500,000 financial aid and laptop computers to kids in this area. So this is some of the really cool stuff that we sell during the show. This is my Your Mama Joke CD. Chris Rock versus Eddie Murphy, Ray Charles, you know, Bernie Mac versus Richard Pryor. This is really cool. And this right here is 50 pictures of the jokes. You'll see the pictures of the jokes that I drew. This is awesome. And I opened in New York City on April 29th with my opening for my art opening. This is my DVD, and you can also buy the artwork. All the proceeds go to kids. This is James Stevens III, and I'd like to thank Signature Licks for having me.